Today we're going to talk about the first of our groups of vascular plants. And these plants are what we call gymnosperms. Okay, a gymnosperm. So here are some examples. Probably the most common one we see here, up here, that one there, the cones. You know, a couple you even brought in your pine cones. I've got some up here that we might look at if we have a little bit of time. Okay. Now, what I want you to just know a little bit about to start off with is this picture right here. Did you know, those of you, the couple, that those pine cones that you brought in were the female cone? Did you know that? Did you know that there were female pine cones and male pine cones? All right. Now, the thing about these female and male pine cones, they look a little bit different, right? I have in here, and I'm not going to say that I did this by any means, because Mrs. Temple went out and collected this specimen that I have here. But if you look at it, right here, what is that? That's what we typically think of as a pine cone, right? But now that we know a little bit more, that is what? That is the female pine cone. Okay, we're going to talk about and see where the seeds are in this female pine cone. Look up at the top here. Do you see that? What is that? That is the male part. Okay? So if you don't learn anything today about gymnosperms, you should learn that, hey, this is the pine cones that we see falling on the ground are the female pine cones, and the male pine cone or the male cone is up at the top here of this particular one. So this branch that I'm holding in my hand has both the male and the female cone on it. All right? Now, pine cone. Pine cone is a naked seed, which means it is not enclosed in an ovary. Not enclosed in an ovary. The seeds are stored inside the cone scales until it is time to release them. So the seeds are stored inside until it's time to release that particular seed. The outer surface of the pine cone is called the cone scales. And it has the ability to close, to keep the seeds safe. Okay? So, if you have a pine cone that is closed, it is in order to protect those seeds. Okay? What are we protecting them from? It says right up there. Cold temperatures. Maybe there's animals that are trying to eat those particular types of seeds. Okay? Maybe we've got some kind of bird that likes those seeds. All right? The cone scales are also able to open up and release their seeds. So, if you have a cone, so where are the two cones? Hold those up. Hold them up nice and high. Do you think those are open or closed? Okay? Those are open. Those are open because, okay, they probably, more than likely, probably don't have any seeds in them. Why? Okay? Why wouldn't they have seeds in them? Let's stop and think about this. Okay? In terms of the season with trees, are we in the reproductive season right now? Okay, those trees are just starting out. They're probably growing the cones. If we will go look at some of these gymnosperms, they're probably growing the cones. When are they going to release those seeds? Probably later on in the season, right? Okay, so those cones are probably from last season that they've just been laying on the ground that long. So if they're doing their reproductive cycles, okay, those seeds should be gone. Shouldn't be in there. Now, Mrs. Temple found a seed. She found a seed, so we're going to see if we can look at this without totally destroying it for her, because I'm sure she wouldn't like that if we destroyed it. Now that we saw that seed, okay, we should probably talk a little bit about where that seed would be. So we're going to talk about parts of a pine cone and the seeds of a pine cone. So I guess I'm going to pause this here. These seeds of a pine cone. Now if you look at this, where are the seeds? Where are the seeds? This is what attaches. Here is the outer covering that opens and closes, right? The outer covering that opens and closes. So this right here is a seed. So how many seeds does this have? 2. Okay? So this is the protective scale that protects those seeds. You know, don't they kind of, a little bit, look like a helicopter of a maple tree? Okay? Just a little bit, yeah. A little bit. Now, if we take, and you look at the scales there, okay, those of you that have a pine cone, take a scale, pull the scale off. Pull one of them off. Can you pull it off, or is it too hard? Pulling it off, okay? Pull it off. Let's cut it. Let's get this. Let's take one of these guys out here, and let's just see if we can cut him. Now, one thing I can tell you right now, this one that Linda has tons of seeds in it, doesn't it? Do you see those? Okay, we're going to pass this around so you can look at it, but this one that Linda has tons of seeds in it. Okay, so when it comes to you, just look at the seeds. All right, so we've got these cones, okay? We've got these cones that have these scales that protect the seeds, right? So what do you think on your diagram? Can you label what we need to have labeled? Go ahead and fill that in, what you think, and then we'll discuss it here in a second once you get it filled in. Can we label our seeds, our cones? They shouldn't be real tough to label, should they? So, what am I looking at? The top one is a closed cone. So somewhere you better note that this is a closed cone. The bottom one is an open cone. Okay? An open cone. So I would put, okay. So basically what I did on the big cone where they have the big line with the arrow, I put closed and opened right there on mine. So on that top line should be closed with the arrow pointing to the closed cone. With the bottom line should be open with the arrow pointing to the bottom of the open cone. Now, can you label the seed and the scale? Not real tough, is it? Go ahead and do so. The seed and the scale. Which goes where? Okay, obviously the seed is the part down at the bottom. The scale is the top part. Okay? Seed is down the bottom, scale is the top part. Now, here's what I want you to do.